Welcome to the Percolating Change podcast, the podcast where we brew better outcomes one sip at a time. I'm Alicia James, and I'm here with Andy Lauret, the founder and CEO of Elevation Group Council. And Andy is a transformation strategist who is passionate about designing change people actually want to be part of. Andy has over 12 years' experience in consulting, including leading change management practices of global consulting firms. He has supported large-scale operations and transformation sectors across continents. Andy's originally from France and is now based in Montreal, Canada, and has been there since 2019. And Andy focuses on helping organisations move away from rigid plans towards shared ownership, safe-to-fail experiments, and human-centred transformation. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. Andy, as is very typical in this point in the podcast, I like to ask our guests, what is the one statement to set the coffee table?
Yes, of course. The statement is, change is no longer a playbook. It's a landscape that requires collective navigation and collaborative experimentation that will empower people and drive real transformation.
And thank you, Andy. And who is this for and why now, would you say?
This is for everyone who feels stuck in frameworks that no longer reflects the complexity of the real world. Stuck repeating best practices that don't move people anymore because they are not part of the story. And to answer the second part of your question, why now? Because I think we are facing a moment we've never seen before. We're in the middle of an AI revolution, navigating organizations where 4 or 5 generations work side by side, each with different expectations, rhythm, realities. So the pace of change brings uncertainty. We don't know what's coming, but it also brings ambiguity. So what we learned yesterday, the methods we rely on, the frameworks we trusted before, many of them, and I believe that many of them are already becoming obsolete. So that's not a crisis, don't get me wrong. For me, it's an opportunity to stop managing change and start facilitating it, to move from plans to co-design and from control to experimentation.
Absolutely. And that's what we should always have been doing, not managing, but facilitating. Thank you, Andy.
Yes,
Could you give me maybe a core insight about how this might work?
Yes, of course. Before of that, let me share, one of my convictions also. I believe change actually works when people feel safe to experiment and shape the outcome themselves.
Yeah.
So one project really changed my perspective. We had to promote continuous learning at work, not just as a concept, but really as a daily behavior. And the challenge, it came right after a major HR transformation around performance and talent management. And I'll be honest with you, Alicia, the HR teams were tired, exhausted. Yeah. And people on the ground also openly expressing change fatigue. So instead of launching another top-down initiative, we created something different, what we call the learning labs, co-led by employees across 17 different sites. Okay, it was in Europe. And the approach was simple. Define the what and the why with what we call the minimum vital frame, and let the teams figure out the how. So what we did is we shared the vision and just enough framing in terms of budget, timeline, governance, and then we let the team decide how they wanted to bring it to life in terms of format, activities, what would actually resonate with their people on the field. So my role became less about control as a change practitioner and more about facilitation, connecting the dots, make sure to remove friction sometime. I won't lie. There were, some debate, some discussion, but also creating space for excitement to grow. And what happened was completely amazing, Alicia. These
Mm-hmm.
labs became real playgrounds for learning with experience with VR glasses, escape rooms, quest-based learning, even prizes. Like people were able, to win iPad, iPhones.
That's
So,
so exciting.
it was. And to be honest with you, and I'll say this, that project permanently changed my view of what change management can be.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I love that actually. People, if you're invested, you have the opportunity to invest in it yourself and be part of the framing and literally be involved in what it should look like, feel like. That's so different than being dictated to and having the change done to you, isn't it?
It
Brilliant.
was definitely.
Very interesting. Do you have an additional example? I'm quite excited about the first one.
Yes, yes. I have another example. One of my other conviction is let people lead the quest. Okay.
Mm,
Because for me, teams will always learn more from the journey than from instructions. When people experience change as a mission with challenges, setback, small wins, I believe they internalize it much faster and much deeper.
mhm,
So, for
mhm,
example, before even starting the design phase of an ERP, we set up a sandbox. And yes, you're going to tell me, but Andy, this is not co-design, this is not experimentation. Yes, it was, because we invited key SMEs, employees, change agents to explore the future system. And it was not about testing features. It was really about ownership. It was about relevance. And sometimes we tend to forget that in change management.
mm. Yeah, yeah. If it's not relevant to me, why am I buying into it?
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you, Andy. What are perhaps 1 to 3 things people can do tomorrow, do you think, to appreciate the value of rethinking change as a collective experimentation?
I would say that start with questions, not answer.
Mhm.
It was one of my great mentor told me. He recently passed away, by the way, so I'm thinking
Oh,
about
dear.
him.
Yeah.
Understand, before being understood. I think this is something really important. So even before you set the strategy, ask what matter to you in this change.
Mm,
So that would be the first one. The second one would be create safe to fail space. Okay,
mhm,
start
yeah.
small. So don't be afraid, to fail. Invite
Mm,
teams to test small change, learn together, fail together sometime. That's the excitement around it. And I would say the final one, I would say create ownership. As I said before, create ownership of the change initiative, test it, make it
mm.
make it simple.
I do like that. It's a couple of agile ways of working here, isn't it? That feeling safe to fail and quickly, turn that around. And also listening to understand. That is not a new concept. And I'm so glad that you brought it up because when we really listen to understand, then, we can co create together because we're actually on the same page at the same time. We're working through all of the issues and questions, etc. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
definitely. It brings
Excellent.
agility, design thinking. You can, bring many
Absolutely.
methodologies, approach behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. What is maybe one thing you might do differently in this space?
I would work on introducing ambiguity earlier,
Mm,
normalize it every time I got the chance, Because I believe too often we try to reassure stakeholder with detailed plans when
Yes.
when actually, we need to prepare them for iteration, adaptation. So we come back with the agility concept that you said before. But this is what I would do differently.
I love that. The ambiguity earlier, instead of that rigid plan, and it never goes to plan, does it?
Exactly.
Normalizing the ambiguity. I love that.
Yeah.
We're nearly coming to the end of our chat here, Andy. But what is one challenge do you think we need to watch within the next 6 to 12 months, from your perspective?
Yes. I won't be original on that one. I'm going to talk about AI. I think one major challenge is the growing temptation to treat AI as a shortcut for transformation. There's a lot of hype, as much as fear, actually. Many people feel overwhelmed, anxious, because AI brings a deep sense of unknown, right? But here's the opportunity. I really believe that rather than rushing to scale new tools, we can use AI to experiment safely. This is the topic of this podcast. So let's experiment safely. It gives
Yeah.
us, opportunity to prototype, change, test new ways of working, involve people early.
Yes.
So yes, AI move fast. It can accelerate, in terms of technology, but it won't remove the need for human connection.
No.
It can help us design change with more clarity, care, more impact.
Yeah. I do like that. And there's some governance, I guess, around how we work with AI, isn't it?
Also, yeah.
To ensure that we're. That's another conversation. I can so easily go off on a tangent. So let's bring myself back here, Andy.
No worries.
What is, and finally, I've got one question about a myth that you'd like to bust. Is there a myth that you might like to bust? And it could relate to
There,
this as
there,
well,
there's
too.
so many actually, but potential change is fun. I don't like this one because yes, change can be exciting, but it's messy. It's even emotional. It creates doubt, resistance, friction, and that's normal that people feel emotional because you change their habits, their comfort for a promise. So I wouldn't say that change is fun.
Yeah. No,
What about you?
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with you. It's not fun. And it certainly can create, doubt and resistance and some friction. But we need to manage how we show up daily and normalize it. To use your phrase earlier with regarding ambiguity, normalizing this part of change, that it isn't going to be fun, but it can be exciting and it's all part of the journey. So, no, I'm on the same page with you there, Andy.
I'm great.
Well,
Great. We are on the same page.
yes, yes. It's been great having you today, Andy. Thank you so much for joining me on Percolating Change. And, what you've had to say has been so insightful and I've really enjoyed it. But I'm keen to know how people can get hold of you for our listeners and viewers. How can people get hold of you, Andy?
On LinkedIn, I would love to connect, discuss. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And to our viewers and listeners, if you found this session useful, please like and subscribe and check the playlist for more short episodes.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.